Hey guys, I'm Jonah. When I started cycling, I didn't think about too much. It was more like hop onto the bike and see how it goes, see if I will even stick with cycling for a longer period of time. But in the end, what I realized throughout this year and also the half year before that, I could make it a little bit easier on me. And I just want to share that with you if you are a beginner or someone who wants to try cycling. I think these are some kind of, I wouldn't say mistakes, but things I would avoid and skip through that process. First thing I want to talk about is bike fitting or bike setup in general, and especially for your saddle height and your handlebar width. So my first years, it was a bit more like I don't really care. At least I can sit on it and pedal. And I thought like a little bit of discomfort is like normal. And in the end, I bought a few more saddles and tried like different heights and also bring up the saddle a bit further to the front and to the back and see how it feels for me. So it was more like trial and error, and probably this took me like over a year so that I'm in a position right now where I can say it's good. And I guess if you want to do it, it takes a lot of time, and you will probably don't get to a level where you say, yeah, that's perfect. So there is a shortcut which is like bike fitting from a professional. And if you want to skip this 1 year, or maybe for you it's even less or even more, go to bike fitter and get your measurements in and get your bike fit from a professional. So this is the easiest way to do it. Regarding handlebar width, so I felt like my wrists are going through the side a little bit more, and watching a bunch of YouTube videos. So most of what I've learned is just from YouTube videos. And I just realized the most handlebar width are in 42, like the old bikes, because I bought like an older Canyon from 2017. So back then they didn't care about like handlebar width. So the standard was most of the time 42, and for me it was just too wide. So I had like discomfort in my handle, in my wrist, and also shoulder pains. And with this new wave of narrow handlebars, I tried a 38, which is for me right now perfect. So I went from 32 to 30, from 42 to 38, and after that it was much better. So the easiest part to measure it is just like from shoulder to shoulder, and this is what I did. I'm more like around 39 to 40, and I thought, yeah, I want to do like 38 and just try it out. If it's too narrow, it's too narrow. I can resell it and buy 40, but I tried it 38, and for me it was like perfect. So next thing I want to talk about is like training sessions or having a training plan. So for the first years, I just rode the same laps with the same distance and didn't take it seriously at all. I just wanted to have some kind of a workout in, so I feel like a little bit better. And in that small span of time of 1.5 years, I was going from 30 kilometers to 50, and I felt stuck, to be honest. I didn't feel like I'm improving, I didn't get faster, and By this year, I started to implement longer rides on the weekends and also have like faster intervals during the week. And I saw, or at least I felt like I'm improving, I'm getting faster, I'm getting fitter. The numbers were a little bit higher. So tracking all these small informations, I also use Strava. And if you don't have Strava, you can use your phone to track some stuff. And these small adjustments, like implementing longer rides, implementing intervals, some kind of a training plan, plus having like these numbers to see how you improve and tracking these numbers, was a major improvement for myself to see that I'm improving. So the next part I want to talk about is nutrition. So I didn't think at all that what I will eat have impact or effect on my performance. And so it took me like a while to see and also to accept that I have to change my eating habit so I can perform better. So most of my longer rides where I take this a little bit more serious is on the weekend. And before that, I was like eating eggs, bacon, and so many unhealthy stuff in the morning, and also like very fatty stuff. So that I changed it to like Greek yogurt, a little bit of cereal, a little bit of honey, and recently I added peanut butter, and it filled me up a little bit, but also gave me a lot of energy back to perform on the, I would say, for me, higher level. And so nutrition is key for performance. Stretching is the next part I want to talk about, before and after a ride. So before I implemented these stretching sessions, before and after, I felt very stiff on the bike and very sore after a bike ride. And so the positives, when I implemented these sessions, I was a little bit more flexible and it felt like I'm a little bit more loose and everything is like working better together. Also, I could get into more aero position, all these kind of stuff, which make the ride comfortable or more comfortable. And after the bike ride, I was very sore and it doesn't, I felt like I'm super exhausted and everything hurt. So using those foam rollers to kind of massage your muscles and tissues, it was a great way to feel better and don't be sore at all most of the time. So these smaller stretching and foam roller sessions improved my ride itself, but also how I felt after a ride. So I'm a very competitive person, and something I learned along this journey was setting realistic goals for yourself. When I started out, as I mentioned before, no plan, just riding, not looking at my pace, stuff like this. When I see a fast rider passing by, I try to hold his back wheel. And this, for me at least, was a huge mistake. Or not a mistake, but something I wouldn't do today, because you have to realize you're just starting out, you have your own pace, you can't go like from 0 to 45 kilometers per hour. So you have to start at your level and go from there and trusting the process, even if it takes a little bit longer. But I think you will see the most improvement in the first year, and after that you will have to go through that hard part where the improvement is much more slower than this first year. all in all, these weren't really mistakes, but just things I wished I would have avoided. And if you're starting out, I hope you can take something out of it. And in the end, I would say just ride your bike, enjoy the moments, and take things easier.